In the ancient world, kingdoms rose and fell like forgotten tides, but none struck more fear than the rising storm of Rome. Its strength was forged not in steel alone, but in the brilliant minds commanding its armies. Commanders so ruthless, nations trembled at their names. They were living embodiments of Roman ambition, facing barbarian hordes in the frozen north, or unmatched naval powers across the Mediterranean, or desert kingdoms rising from the east. Even civil wars within Rome itself, these men became legends carved into time. They wielded strategy like a blade and warfare like an art. Their enemies broke long before the first spear flew. Rome grew, shaped by unmatched military brilliance. 5 men, 5 forces of nature. They conquered every battlefield they touched. Some were defeated before battle even began. Rome became unstoppable, and this is their story. The world was divided by mountains, deserts, and seas. Across unforgiving deserts, ancient peoples moved in isolation, kingdoms divided by scorching landscapes. Dense forests hid tribes beyond the reach of civilization. Yet the Mediterranean remained the center of the ancient world, where cultures clashed, traded, and transformed. But among these centers of power, one stood unmatched. Rome began with almost nothing. Hard work was their greatest resource. Their strength came from unity and resilience. They forged iron not for luxury, but survival. Slowly, the settlement grew into something more. Challenges struck them from every direction, but each obstacle sharpened their resolve. Piece by piece, they built their strength. Even their children were raised with legends of duty. Their destiny stretched far beyond what they knew, a spear that would one day shape the world. For in unity, they found their greatest strength. From myth to reality, their journey had begun. This was the beginning of a power the world had never seen. From Carthage came a commander unlike any the world had seen. As a child, Hannibal swore eternal hatred toward Rome. He led an army forged for one purpose, to conquer. And at the front marched beasts Rome had never faced. His journey would take him where no general dared to go. He crossed the Alps in winter. Thousands froze, starved, or fell to the cliffs. But still, the beasts marched forward. At the summit, he saw his destiny, Rome. Rome expected an attack, but not from the Alps. And with him came terror on 4 massive legs. Hannibal's mind was as deadly as his army. Rome had never seen enemies like these. His cavalry outmatched Rome's at every step. His infantry moved with precision and discipline, and when the beasts charged, soldiers broke. Rome's formations shattered like glass. Hannibal controlled the battlefield like a chessboard. Every victory carved fear deeper into Rome's heart, and still he wouldn't stop. Rome feared many enemies, but none like the one rising from within. Lucius Cornelius Sulla, a commander with ice in his veins. Even Rome's Senate whispered his name with fear. He did what no Roman general had dared. Sulla marched his army on Rome itself. For the first time, Rome trembled before her own soldiers. To his enemies, he was the Red Butcher, but on foreign fields, he was unmatched brilliance. He outmaneuvered armies twice his size with icy precision. Victory followed him like a shadow. But his return home brought a new kind of terror. Rome witnessed the unthinkable. He created lists of death, the proscriptions. No home, no street, not even exile offered safety. His enemies vanished one by one. He ruled not by fear, but by absolute certainty. Foreign kingdoms already trembled before his campaigns, but the Republic itself feared him more deeply. Sulla bent Rome to his will as if it were a conquered city. For the first time in history, Rome feared itself. Then rose Pompey the Great, Rome's unstoppable eagle of the East. To foreign nations, he was not a man, but a force of nature. Pirates had ruled these waters for decades. Pompey crushed them in a single year, a feat no admiral had achieved before him. Armenia, Syria, Judea, all fell before his lightning campaigns. He moved faster than any general of his age. Kings bowed the moment he entered their lands. His armies struck with surgical precision. Rebellions shattered under his command. He stormed the Temple of Jerusalem with overwhelming force. Few dared follow him into sacred lands. He walked without hesitation. Even Mithridates, Rome's oldest enemy, fell at Pompey's feet. His victories reshaped the East. Rome gained more land in 10 years under Pompey than in the previous century. Rome celebrated him as its greatest living hero. But foreign nations feared something else. Pompey was inevitable. Wherever he marched, victory followed. If Pompey came for your kingdom, it was already lost. Then came Julius Caesar, the storm that redefined Rome. His enemies did not fear his armies, they feared him. Gaul had resisted Rome for generations, but under Caesar, resistance became hopeless. He broke tribes that had never bowed to Rome. He led from the front, fearless, relentless. At Alesia, he built walls to trap an entire nation. Their greatest king realized the trap too late. Hundreds of thousands rushed to break him. He answered them with ice in his veins. His counterstrikes shattered their courage. For the first time, Gaul knew fear. Its proudest king knelt before Caesar. Even in victory, his mind never rested. Rome worshipped the man who conquered an entire world, but beyond Rome, the world trembled. For they knew Caesar would not stop. Every campaign widened the shadow of Rome, and every king knew if Caesar marched toward your land, it was already doomed. Before Caesar rose, one man commanded fear across the world. Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, Pompey the Great. Rome praised him as the greatest commander of his age. Pirates once dominated the Mediterranean, until Pompey swore to cleanse the seas. He split the entire sea into controlled zones. His navy struck with unmatched precision. Fortress after fortress fell before him. Within months, the pirate kingdoms collapsed. He commanded legions like an emperor long before Caesar. Even foreign rulers bowed to his authority. His victories stretched from Africa to Asia. His troops followed him with absolute loyalty. But Rome cannot hold two giants forever. The Senate chose Pompey, a decision that shook Rome. When Caesar marched against him, history trembled. Pompey had not faced a Roman enemy of equal strength until now. Rome emptied in fear of the coming storm. He was once the master of the seas, now a general fighting for Rome itself. Pompey the Great, feared by nations, challenged by destiny. Centuries passed, yet their legacy refused to fade. 5 commanders whose shadows stretched across time. Scipio, the brilliance that defeated Hannibal. Marius, architect of Rome's unstoppable war machine. Sulla, whose wrath even Rome learned to fear. Pompey, the eagle of the East, conqueror of kingdoms. And Caesar, the man who broke the world. Generals across history studied their tactics. Napoleon admired them. Even Hannibal respected them. Modern commanders learned from them. Their battles shaped continents. Their victories forged an empire. Empires rose and fell, but Rome's memory endured. Generations studied their genius. their names etched into history. Their spirit became Rome's eternal symbol. Their influence reached far beyond their lifetimes. They stand among the greatest leaders in history. Rome remembers them, and so does the world.